Okay, so we have sent out our form. We have waited a bit and gotten some responses. And as you can see here, next to responses, you'll see that there's a three, and that means I've gotten three responses. So I'm going to go ahead and click on responses to see what it looks like. Inside responses, I have first of all got the option of saying, hey, I'm no longer accepting responses. So if I had a time frame for my students to fill this out and it's over, then I can turn this off and they can no longer actually respond to the form. But strictly looking at the results, I can go here to summary, and summary really tries to break down what was seen in these responses and give you some trends or insights about what that looks like. So, based on the responses, the total point distribution, questions that people missed frequently, questions that they got correct frequently. Um, and so there are a variety of things that you can try to glean some information from here to find out where your kids are, where your students are, and how they're doing answering certain questions. Um, and then you can break it down by just a question. So this is question number one, violets are, and it tells you that two responses were blue. That's the correct answer. One response was orange. That's not the correct answer. So two of three people got that right. We can move on to the next one and see that Pegasus was the answer that two people said, and unicorn was the answer one person said. Finally, I can go over here to individual. This is going to be by individual person or respondent. So I can look here and see violets are and see what their response was, all the responses that they put in, and then move to the next person and see what all their responses were. So you have lots of ways to view this information and check it out. And that is really handy to be able to do and break it down. But in addition to that, you also have the option of creating a spreadsheet with this information. The cool thing about this spreadsheet is that even if you create a new spreadsheet, and that's going to put all the answers into that spreadsheet, even if you create that spreadsheet, or if you do, then even if you delete the form or you remove all the responses from the form, this spreadsheet will still have all those responses. So that's really handy to know about. You've got a timestamp, you've got all the answers that they shared in their questions and the questions themselves. And so I can go back here and I can say, and this is if I wanted to reuse the quiz, then I could come back here and I could get rid of all the responses. So I can say delete all those responses. And it says, are you sure you want to do that? And I say, yeah, of course I'm sure. Now, if I want to use the form again, now that I've deleted all those responses, then I'm going to need to unlink it with this spreadsheet. So I'm going to come up here and go to unlink form. And that's saying, hey, are you sure? Because you've got these responses that were already in there and you won't be able to add to it. Unlink. I want to be able to send this form out again and not have to worry about whether it's going to get confused with these answers. So maybe I've got a different class, maybe it's a new semester, whatever it is. This way, I'll be able to add to my or use my form again and have a whole nother set of responses and save them as a spreadsheet for future use later on. So that's the last video we're going to have. Make sure you mark as done at the end of this one. And then you're going to have a final project that you'll need to put together and share with me so that I can see that you've built a form that's going to do the job for you in the form of a quiz. And I'll be able to get you some clock hours for that after you submit that to me. So hopefully you've got everything you need. You can always go back and look at the stuff and make sure you know how to do things.